Welcome to This Explainer. London. It's the city of dreams, right? Big Ben, double-decker buses, endless opportunities. Well, at least that was the idea. Imagine spending years building a life there, working incredibly hard, navigating the chaos, paying sky-high rent, only to finally decide it's time to pack your bags and leave. Today, we're going to unpack the complex realities behind the sudden, massive shift of immigrants and international students leaving London.
Let's kick things off with a staggering number, 640,000. In the year ending December 2025, over 640,000 people packed up and left the UK. We're currently seeing a sharp drop in overall net migration, but the really fascinating part, it's the emigration side of the equation, specifically non-EU individuals and international students who came seeking opportunity but are now actively heading back home. For decades, London has been this premier global hotspot. But right now, the reality for tons of non-EU immigrants and students is literally just packing up their bags and heading back. So what's going on? Why the sudden reversal? Is the UK dream actually broken, or has the world just fundamentally shifted around it? Because this massive reversal isn't just one single issue. We've structured this explainer around 5 key areas. We'll look at the Great London Exodus, the economic squeeze, navigating policy and uncertainty, quality of life realities, and finally, the pull of home.
So let's jump straight into Section 1, the Great London Exodus, a shifting demographic tide. You know, for the past decade, the UK was this massive magnet for global talent. It consistently pulled in incredibly ambitious, skilled folks from places like India, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Eastern Europe. But fast forward to 2024, and that immigration growth really starts to hit the brakes. By December 2025, boom, immigration is rising sharply. We are looking at a totally different demographic landscape today.
Which naturally brings us to Section 2, the economic squeeze. Or, to put it simply, what happens when the math just breaks?
It really all starts with basic finances. I mean, think about this. A whopping 30 to 50%, sometimes way more, of a migrant's income in London is swallowed whole by private rent. Just gone. Then you tack on another 40% for things like crazy expensive groceries, transport, and soaring energy bills. What's left? Maybe 10% for savings, and honestly, that's if you're lucky. Trying to save for a family future in that environment is practically impossible right now. It's a really harsh clash between expectation and reality. People arrive chasing that UK dream, expecting better pay, dignity, and building up robust savings. But the actual day-to-day reality? High taxes, sky-high expenses, and unfortunately, a lot of overcrowded housing. Folks came to get ahead, but with inflation soaring and wages stagnating, they're finding themselves barely keeping their heads above water.
There's this one quote that really hits the nail on the head. I was earning decent money, but after rent and bills, nothing left. That right there is why so many feel the dream is broken. They start doing the math and realize, wait a minute, back home I could actually buy a house, have my family around, and live with far more dignity. It's just a painful mathematical reality. When the numbers don't add up anymore, people stop trying to force it. All right, let's move on to Section 3, Navigating Policy and Uncertainty, the Changing Rulebook. A huge piece of this puzzle is the constant anxiety caused by changing immigration rules. I mean, look at the laundry list here. The post-Brexit points-based system, significantly higher salary thresholds for skilled visas, massive jumps in the immigration skills charge, super tight restrictions on bringing your dependents with you, and on top of all that, longer and longer waits for indefinite leave to remain. These 2025 policy shifts have made getting and keeping a work visa incredibly difficult and expensive. It creates this underlying environment where people feel their status is just temporary, constantly under review, and quite frankly, unwelcome. And if we look at international students, wow, under 7%. That is the estimated job placement rate for people on graduate visas right now, less than 7%. It's a staggeringly low conversion rate. Essentially, the system is forcing huge numbers of brilliant, highly educated non-EU grads to just pack up and go back home, because finding long-term employment is basically like finding a needle in a haystack. So it really begs the question, right? Why invest years of your life if the rules can just change overnight? Without the long-term security of citizenship, the constant looming threat of a visa not being renewed or sudden deportation pushes incredibly talented folks toward countries that actually offer genuine stability. If you're trying to build a career or a family, you absolutely need a foundation that isn't going to shift beneath your feet.
Which brings us to Section 4, Quality of Life Realities.
We're looking beyond just the paycheck here. Because beyond the money and the visas, there's just the daily lived reality of the city. When immigrants start comparing the UK reality, the notoriously long NHS waiting lists, the dreary weather, and very real safety concerns around knife crime and street disorder, when they weigh that against what they could have elsewhere, the contrast is glaring. Back home or in other nations, they're looking at warmer weather, safer communities, faster healthcare access, and stronger community support, instead of what can sometimes feel like a really isolating society. Those daily trade-offs become impossible to ignore. And even for those who manage to navigate the visa maze and stay, the job market has its own set of brutal challenges. Highly skilled immigrants are frequently dealing with underemployment, extremely frustrating glass ceilings, and subtle discrimination where local candidates get favored. The competition is fierce, and when you mix professional stagnation with, say, cultural clashes or a lingering feeling that you're just not British enough, man, that emotional toll is heavy. There's a profound quote that sums up this emotional shift perfectly. "I came for money, but I'm leaving for peace and happiness." This perfectly captures the feeling for so many families who maybe don't feel safe walking at night anymore, or are worried about sending their kids to certain schools in London. They realize that while living in a massive, prestigious global city sounds amazing on paper, peace of mind, feeling integrated, and just daily happiness, that's infinitely more valuable. All right, let's hit our final pillar, Section 5, the pull of home, seeking connection and future. Because it's not just about what's pushing people away from the UK. There are some massive pull factors drawing them elsewhere. Think about the personal side, a sense of duty to aging parents back home, wanting your kids to grow up around their grandparents and immersed in their own rich culture, or honestly, just missing familiar food and festivals. Then add the professional side. The remote work boom means you can actually earn a UK or EU level salary while living somewhere way cheaper. Plus, places like Canada, Australia, and the Gulf nations are aggressively rolling out the red carpet with incredible opportunities. The pull of a better life is undeniable. And so, this realization kind of washes over people. The UK was a chapter. It wasn't forever. After spending 5, maybe 10 years navigating the daily grind, paying through the nose for rent, and constantly jumping through bureaucratic visa hoops, a lot of immigrants start viewing their time in the UK as a completed chapter, not a permanent destination. They came, they learned, they earned what they could, and now they're totally content to just turn the page and start fresh somewhere else. So that leaves us with a really important question for you. Are you planning to leave, stay, or have you just arrived? Now, London absolutely isn't done for everyone, and let's be super clear, plenty of people are still thriving there. But as the math, the policies, and the lifestyle drastically shift, we really want to hear about your next move. Do these realities match your day-to-day experience? Drop your story in the comments below, let us know where you're from and why you're making your choice. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next one.